Hi guys, ZCrazyG here with at last another look and thoughts on the progress of Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. It's been about 2 months since we had our first look at gameplay and when I gave my first impressions on the visuals, sound, gameplay and what needed improving. Ever since, we have received several miniature teasers via the Twitter account showing us several snippets of the tracks and characters. But last week we got a bombshell of incredibly exciting information, as well as PAX East where people have got to play and record new gameplay. For the PAX East footage in this video, I will be using gameplay from Canadian Guy A. He is a YouTuber who makes videos all about Crash, Spyro and all sorts, so he knows what he's on about when it comes to Crash. I will leave a link to his channel in the description, and a big thanks to him for giving me permission to use his footage. Thank you very much. So today we'll be looking at any new information or gameplay that has been revealed in the past 2 months and seeing how Beanox have improved upon things. First off, the big thing, giving a whole new meaning to the Nitro Fueled subtitle. Every track and battle arena from Crash Nitro Kart will be in CTR Nitro Fueled as well. Holy shit, that is insane. So of course, Crash Nitro Kart was a sequel to CTR that had more or less the same gameplay design in concept as CTR, but the controls felt more sluggish and clunky, which really let down the gameplay of CNK in my opinion. And not to mention the fact that some of the tracks simply felt quite forgettable and not had much character to them. But as I said, it was designed in a similar way to CTR and how that control scheme worked, and so because of that, Beanox have put every track and battle arena, not the whole game mind you, just to be clear, but just the tracks and battle arenas into CTR. Maybe a little bit more from Nitro Kart, but we'll get onto that. I am over the moon about their inclusion in this for a couple of reasons. Number one, this is bringing the Nitro Kart tracks up to the CTR standards, with the fluent CTR controls and altering the tracks to suit the mechanics, so no anti-grav stuff. As interesting of a gimmick as it was, it doesn't need to be here. Basically allowing us to experience these tracks with the much more smooth and just more satisfying gameplay that CTR was known for, but in the Nitro Kart tracks, which is fantastic because, as I said, the slow controls of CNK were one of the things that let it down, so it'll be great to experience these CNK tracks with this control scheme in there. But it also means that we can give the CNK tracks that, well, some were a bit bland and forgettable, we can now give them a much more fresh breath of life and with much more unique theming and vibes, with, the insane level of detail that Beanox have been putting into these tracks. For example, a lot of the CNK tracks tended to echo the CTR tracks a bit. Inferno Island being similar to Crash Cove, or Tiny Temple being similar to Tiger Temple, or Clockwork Wumper being similar to Cortex Castle. Just looking at the gameplay for Clockwork Wumper here, wow, what they have done is given it such a brilliant and fresh and separate sense of identity by playing to the more unique themings of what the CNK tracks had originally. So like, even though both Clockwork Wumper and Cortex Castle had that very castle theming going on, Clockwork Wumper seems to take advantage more of the clockwork theming and turning it into more of like a Wumper factory, which is really cool, but also just making the castle aesthetic a lot more gothic and Transylvanian-esque to make it stand out a bit more from Cortex Castle, which I think is fantastic. It makes me really excited to get to know these CNK tracks a lot better, since I never really played CNK a whole lot. I played through the adventure mode a couple of times, but it's so cool to be able to go through them now that they've been brought up to scratch with the CTR tracks. And the second thing really is that it's just more content, which is fucking fantastic, and it makes that 40 quid price point so much more worth it. I mean, we're getting 31 tracks here. That's just brilliant to me. It also makes a lot of sense when you consider the kart racing competition at the moment with something like Mario Kart 8. The CTR's 18 tracks, while brilliant, would have still seemed like a bit of a lack of content, so it allows it to stand toe-to-toe with its rivals in that respect with the extra CNK tracks. And man, I'm sorry, it's just so cool that we're getting all the Crash Nitro Kart tracks on top of the CTR tracks and the whole CTR game. I mean, no one even asked or expected this, but for Beanox to go above and beyond here, guys, you smashed it with this edition so much. This is fantastic. Thank you. Also, one more thing that I forgot to mention. We're also getting something that Beenox call a retro track, and it's apparently exclusive to PS4. What exactly they mean by retro track, I don't quite know. Maybe it's just sort of a low poly version of one of the original CTR tracks. I'm not sure, but hey, it's another piece of content, so that's just dandy. 32 tracks, awesome. Now, in terms of other Nitro Kart content, we already know we're having the CNK karts in there, but people have speculated about the characters from that game, like Crunch and N-Trance being in the game as well, I think due to a French article, but I'm not taking this as fact. Now, while I think it would be great to have these characters and potentially more post-Naughty Dog characters, I would just prefer that they prioritize bringing the remaining characters from the Insane trilogy first, like Nitrous Brio, Torna, and Koala Kong, before they decide to bring in any post-Naughty Dog characters. Now let's go on to how Beenox have taken on people's feedback based on the last gameplay they had, because in this PAX build, there are some noticeable improvements they have made since then. Firstly, from what it looks like, they have put back the reserve boost system. Fuck yes. I mentioned in my last video how it was this system that is so vital to maintaining speed in the original, and it was what kept the fast-paced gameplay flow moving and really rewarded skilled players. Secondly, they fixed the thing where when you were boosting or during a power slide, on the third boost it would give you the much more supercharged boost, but it would boost you in the direction the kart was facing as opposed to the direction you were driving. But they have now remedied that, so you are now boosting in the direction you are driving. That's fantastic. Again, just refining this control a lot more is what really, that is just so reassuring to me. The drifting also just seems a lot faster and smoother and so much closer to what the original CTR was. Seeing this PAX gameplay now and seeing gameplay from Canadian Guy A and Crystal Fisher, who are both very good CTR players, it's now extinguished most concerns that I have about how the game will feel to play, which I am so happy about. Now, I just want to say this, I understand that it may not be entirely possible to create a one-to-one feel with the original, and I expect that realistically it will feel like there's a slight difference, and as long as it gets as close as it can, that's the main thing. But from what I've seen so far, I am very happy with the way it's looking. One other thing is that the character icons have been updated. Now true, they are not 2D like the original, but they've sort of given them an in-between, I guess, and you know what, I'm actually really fine with these. They're a lot more stylized and give off a lot of personality for the characters, so I'm pretty satisfied with these for now. Oh, and just another little touch, they also now turn red and green when affected by power-ups like it did in the original, so just, again, another awesome feature. Oh man, we've still got a lot more to get through. It's been confirmed that we have the option of using the original PS1 soundtrack as well as the remade tracks, with Joshua Mansell being a creative consultant on this. That is fantastic to hear. I think I brought this up in my last video that they should get him involved, so it's nice that they have done that and they've been giving us the option just to choose between the remade and the original soundtrack. It's just a cool bonus for those going for a purely retro experience, and it's nice that they've got Joshua Mansell on board, so hopefully that also means they can get him on board for future Crash projects. That'll be interesting to see. We also now know that there are two types of adventure mode. There is the option to play it as it was in CTR, the classic way, but there is also what they call the new nitro-fueled version, where you can apparently change your characters and customize your kart throughout. A little bit similar to Nitro Kart in that respect, but I mean, that sounds awesome. I will also wonder if that means the Nitro Kart tracks will be in that mode too. That'll be interesting to see. But it's just great that you have the option of playing the classic adventure if you want to, and I'm very happy to see that they've put just that choice in. Oh, that's just so cool. The car customization is looking on really nice. Now we've not seen a lot of the changing the color of the kart, so we've just been seeing them using the different kart styles. We've got the original classic karts from CTR and the 4 Nitro Kart ones. You've got Team Bandicoot, Team Cortex, Team Oxide, and Team Trance. They all look really cool, and surprisingly, none of them look out of place. We've also got our first look at skins, which we knew were coming, but we've never really gotten a proper look at. These skins that we've been shown in this trailer are the low poly skins, and these look really cool. Now true, it does seem like they're a little bit of an over-exaggeration of PS1 graphics, but it's still nice to see them. And yeah, I know they are a PS4 exclusive, but I mean, I'm fine with that. It's only skins. They're just an awesome aesthetic bonus which I love, and I look forward to seeing what other skins will be like, and hopefully different characters will have different skins harkening back to maybe alternate costumes they had in the Insane trilogy, or maybe even post Naughty Dog games. That'll be cool to see. We've also got our first look at Nitrous Oxide, the main baddie himself, and I'm actually very happy with how he's turned out. The HD design is fantastic, and his voice, while noticeably different, is a good voice nonetheless, albeit the delivery is a bit more corny, but I'm quite happy with how he's turned out. So yeah, there's a lot of information that's been given to us and several things that have been improved on since the last build, but even looking at this PAX build, there are still some things that need addressing to me. First off, the sounds for the engine and the starting light sound are still not quite there. This is what they sound like in Nitro Fueled. And this is how they sounded in the original. While it's not a huge deal, it was such a great part of the original sound design, so much so that it is quite noticeable. Also, the power-up distribution in multiplayer. In this gameplay, Canadian guy A was playing on Sewer Speedway in an online match, and in one lap, he got affected by the entropy clock 3 times. Not to mention other gameplay, people have received Aku Aku and Uka Uka masks like several times on the trot. I don't know, there needs to be some more balancing done here and more ways. Some tweaking needs to be done there, I think. But overall, I'm just so blown away by how this remake is coming along. And the fact that Beenox are going above and beyond, giving us all the CNK tracks and battle arenas as well. Oh, it's awesome. It's great to know that they're listening and constantly working to improve based on fan feedback. And we're still a couple of months away, so there's still time for them to show off more and work further on refining this game. And just to say, when we've had a decent look at most of the tracks from the original CTR and what they look like, I would like to make a video just going over each of them and talking about how Beenox has interpreted them and what quality of life features they've added to make them feel more alive. But man, June 21st cannot come soon enough, and it's all so exciting. Like, there is so much to go over in this video, but I don't want to ramble for too long, so I'll leave it here. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Feel free to like and subscribe if you feel like it. It really means a lot, and just thank you so much for watching again, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.